Hello everyone, my name is Aastha. I welcome you all to our classes for International English Olympiad for class 7th. Herein we will be doing the 10th class, which is about verbs and phrasal verbs. We will be understanding what verbs are, then we will be moving on towards phrasal verbs as well. So make sure you have your notepad with you so that you can understand the formation of phrasal verbs. If there is any new words that you find, make sure you write them down. Any concept that you find important, make sure you write that down. Alright, let's get started.
The first question that comes to our mind is, what exactly are verbs? Now verb is a word that represents an action, an occurrence, or conveys a state of being. So, verb, very simple definition that verb is a word which represents any of these three things, like any action taking place, any occurrence that is happening, or it conveys about some state of being something or someone. Now all this will be clearer to you once we start doing the examples. So till then you have to remember and understand that verb is nothing but a word that represents either an action or any occurrence or any state of being. Alright, let's move on. Now the first thing represented by the verb is action, right? So let's see some action verbs like eat. Now eat is a verb, run is an action, it's a verb, swim is an action, that's also a verb, study, that's also an action, that's also a verb, sit is also an action, it's a verb. Alright, so all these words are the ones that show some kind of action taking place, right? So the words that represent action are known as verbs. Now let's move on. Here we have occurrence. Now happen, become. Happen means something that takes place, which means something that occurs. Right? So happen is a word that shows some kind of occurrence. And become as well. Become is used for a person, or when someone turns into somebody, being recognized for something. So become is another word that is used to show occurrence. So both of these are examples of words that show occurrence and hence are called what? They are called verbs. Easy, right? Now another one is the state of being. The words that represent a state of being, like am, is. So these kind of words which show some kind of state of being. For I am, for example, if I say I am a girl, so I am expressing me being a girl. I am expressing that I am a girl. So my state of being is what? My state of being is a girl. Now these are a few examples for verbs. For example, you study English. Now study shows some action being done. This is a verb. Next, Aman plays with toys. So which is the word telling us some action? Plays. This is also a verb. Similarly, in the third sentence, Aisha reads the book. So reads tells us an action taking place. It is also a verb. Next, he sits on the ground. Sits. This is a verb that shows some kind of action taking place. So here we have a few action words which are the verbs. These either show some kind of action or some kind of occurrence or some state of being, like be, have, do, say, get, make, go, know, take, see. Others could be come, think, look, want, use, find, tell, ask, work. So these action words which tell us some kind of occurrence or state of being or some action taking place, all of these are called as verbs. Okay, I missed the one here, which was give. All right. Alright, so here we have a new category of verbs. Now this is just a subcategory, we can say, of verbs which are phrasal verbs. And phrasal verbs are phrases that indicate actions. What did we learn about verbs? That verbs are words that indicate actions. But here phrasal verbs, as it is made of the word phrasal and verbs. So phrasal here refers to they being phrases that indicate actions. Phrases how? Now phrases is something that is made up of more than one word. So here phrasal verbs contain one word and either a preposition or an adverb. Alright, so what do phrasal verbs contain? They are verb plus any preposition or adverb. Now we know that the verbs are what? Verbs are words, but phrasal verbs are phrases. But both of them do the same thing of indicating certain actions. Alright, the only difference is the verbs are words and phrasal verbs are phrases, and they are formed with the verb plus any preposition or adverb. Alright. Okay, so here we have these examples of phrasal verbs. For example, the first one is get up. Get up का मतलब क्या होता है? Get up, you ask someone to like rise from like bed or somewhere, wherever. For example, when someone is sleeping, you ask them to get up, which means wake up. Can be another phrasal verb, can be wake up, right? Wake up. Now write down, when you ask someone to put whatever you have said in writing, whatever they have said in writing, you ask them to write it on that paper, write down. See, look forward to. So here sometimes three I have said because look forward to. The verb is look, but here we can be using either two or one or two more words here. So here we have three words. Look forward to. मतलब look forward to का मतलब होता है जैसे किसी के लिए you are excited for something, you are excited and you are waiting eagerly, that is looking forward to. Then we have the phrasal verb go through. A verb is go and then through. This means किसी चीज के या किसी undergo करना या फिर experiencing something, some difficult period. Alright, then the next one is put up with. Put up with usually use होता है when we are saying that you have tolerated something, या कुछ आपने bear किया है, कुछ आपको problem हुई पर आपने सहा है. That is putting up with. Alright. Okay, so now what it is saying is, when added to the verb, the preposition or adverb may change completely the meaning of the verb. Here are some examples. Now, इसका मतलब ये है कि जैसे जो हमारा phrasal verb बनता है, that is the verb plus either any preposition or any adverb. So ये preposition और adverb के add होने की वजह से हमारा जो verb का meaning है, that sometimes may completely change. Let's see a few examples. Okay. Now here we have the verb क्या है look. Look क्या मतलब होता है? Look is a verb and look means कहीं देखना. Okay. But here हमने look के साथ so many prepositions add करके we've made so many words like phrasal verbs like look for, look up to, look forward to, look up. Alright, and they have completely different meanings. And we have their examples. Let's see. The first one is look for. Look for मतलब किसी चीज के लिए search करना, seeking it, which means किसी चीज को ढूंढ रहे हो. तो I'm looking for this. Here example में भी यही है कि he is looking for his keys. All right. See another one. Look up to. Look up to का meaning है have a great deal of respect for a person. Usually अपना idol या someone who's your mentor or guide. Let's see the example. His father is his model. He is the person he looks up to. Right? His model. मतलब उनके idol है उनके father. He really looks up to him. मतलब उनको बहुत मानते हैं and he has a great deal of respect for him. Okay. Now another word is look forward to, which means await eagerly and anticipate with pleasure. Now here is she is looking forward to visiting Paris. मतलब she is waiting eagerly and anticipating for what? For going to Paris, for visiting Paris. Alright. Let's see the other word. Look up. Look up का मतलब try to find a piece of information by looking in a book or in a computer. Which means searching for something कई book में या computer में, look it up. जैसे we say usually आजकल Google it. So look it up on Google maybe. So कुछ information book पे या computer पे search करना, that is looking it up. So let's see here. She didn't understand the word, so she looked it up in her dictionary. Alright. So ऐसे ही हमने देखा these is the phrasal verbs क्या होते हैं, बस verb and either a preposition or an adverb. Very easy concept. Alright. Okay, so here is another category of verbs which are auxiliary verbs. These are basically helping verbs. We call them as helping verbs as well. Helping verbs. And by helping, I think you can guess what their what do they do? They help the other verb. It is a subclass of verb that prototypically marks any tense, aspect, mood or voice. Now how? We will see these in the questions. जब हम auxiliary verbs की questions करेंगे तब we will see how it is helping the other verbs. And how does it help it? Basically by marking any tense or aspect or mood or voice. Examples we will see. So you just have to know that the verbs which help other verbs are auxiliary verbs. Alright, let's see a few examples. Okay, here. Do, does, did, has, have, had, is, am, are, was, were, be, being, been, may, must, might, should, could, would, shall, will, can. Now let me give you a few examples. For example, if I say, I will go to the market, right? What is it doing? This will, what is it doing? It is helping which verb? Go. I will go to the market. So will is the helping verb here and the main verb is go. Basically मैं बता रही हूँ कि मैं जाऊंगी, the main verb is go, but will, what is it telling us? It is telling us the tense. So how is it helping? By changing the tense into future. So that's what the job of an auxiliary verb is. They're pretty easy to understand. Right. Now let's move on to the next segment. Alright, so now we have another important category of verbs that you need to understand, which is transitive and intransitive verbs. So we will be learning about these in detail. What are transitive verbs? What are intransitive verbs? Then understanding their differences or maybe some similarities that they have. Let's see. Alright, so first of all, let's do transitive verbs. Now, what are transitive verbs? These are the verbs that require an object to complete the meaning. Now, we know we have a subject, we have a verb, and we have an object. Now, these are the verbs that compulsorily require an object to complete their meaning, which means these transitive verbs cannot be completed without an object. And उनका कोई meaning नहीं रह जाता है if there is no object. All right. Okay, let's try to understand this through example. You just have to remember one small thing, that transitive verbs, they require what? Require an object. Okay. All right, like here. My mother sent me a letter. Here, what is the verb? Sent. And what is the object? It's a mere letter. Now here you see the verb is sent, to send. My mother sent me what? Now, there is this question that you have to answer here. My mother sent me what? Sent me a letter. If we just say my mother sent me, there has to be something that your mother sends you. So that object, this object is required to complete the meaning of the verb, right? That's why this verb send is an intransitive verb. Alright, let's see further. I borrowed a pen from my friend. Borrowed. Borrowed is the verb here. Now if I just say I borrowed, that is incomplete because there has to be something that I borrow to understand the meaning of the sentence completely. So I borrowed a pen from my friend. So I require an object to complete the meaning of this sentence. So that's why this again, borrowed is a transitive verb. Another example, she passed me a smile. Now she passed. Passed is what, a verb? Then we have this object here. Now passed, again the verb, it requires an object to complete the meaning. If I just say she passed, you don't know what did she pass, right? There has to be the answer to what. What did your mother send? What did you borrow? What did she pass? All right, there have to be answer. There has to be an answer to these questions. Okay, she passed you what? Passed me a smile. So, right, you require an object to complete the meaning of this verb. So this verb is again a transitive verb. Alright, so there is this simple simple tip and trick that you can remember to understand transitive verbs, that whenever you need to answer the question of what did the verb do, like what did the mother send, what did this person borrow, what did she pass. Okay, whenever you need an answer of what to complete the sentence, then that verb is a transitive verb. Alright, that's for the transitive verb. Alright, now we have intransitive verbs, which is pretty easy. They are the opposite of transitive verbs and they do not require an object to complete their meaning. Alright, they are self-sufficient in nature. Self-sufficient in nature means they are complete within themselves and they don't require an object. Alright, let's see how. Okay, so here, let's see. The fruits fell from the basket. Now the verb is fall. Okay, to fall. Now here I've given you a hint. You can't fall something, right? Here is there's this preposition used, fell from the basket. This is not an object. Okay. Now you cannot fall something. That's why this verb doesn't require an object. So it is an intransitive verb. Then my aunt arrived this morning. Arrived again. You cannot arrive something, right? We cannot here we cannot ask the question of what. My aunt arrived what? That can't be a question, right? So here arrived again intransitive verb. Then my brother gets up late every morning. So here the verb is gets up. And my brother, let's see. The brother can't get up something, right? Can we ask the question of what? My brother got up what? No, we can't answer the question of, we can't ask the question of what, and neither can we answer that question. So all these verbs, what are these? These are intransitive verbs because they do not require any object to complete their meaning. Okay, I hope you have understood the basic difference between transitive and intransitive verbs. So transitive verbs are the ones which require an object to complete their meaning, whereas intransitive verbs are the ones which do not require an object to complete their meaning. Alright. Okay, so here we will be doing a very interesting category of verbs that are transitive and intransitive both. As in how we will see these examples, we'll figure out what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here, the first example, let's read the first sentence. It says, close the door. Close the door. Now here, can we ask the question of what? Close what? Close the door. So here, the verb close requires the object, the door, to complete its meaning. Right? So, close here is a transitive verb. But let's see the next sentence. The market closes at 5 p.m. Here the market closes. The verb is to close only. But does this verb here in this sentence require an object to complete its meaning? The market closes. Can we ask the question of what? The market closes what? No, we cannot ask the question of what. So here this is an intransitive verb because it does not require the object to complete its meaning. Alright. Let's see another example. Write your paper. Write your paper. Write what? Write your paper. So here the verb write requires the object, your paper, to complete its meaning. It's a transitive verb here. Then in the next sentence, my grandma can't write. Here, write again. But this does not require any object to complete its meaning. So, intransitive verb. Okay. So, the next sentence, let's see. Third here, stop the bus. Stop what? Stop the bus. Again, here the verb requires the object, the bus, to complete its meaning. So here it is a transitive verb. Then the clock stopped working. The clock stopped what? Here we cannot answer the question of what, right? There is no what to be asked. So stopped here, the verb stop is an intransitive verb. Then another example. He has done his homework. He has done what? He has done his homework. So the verb requires the object, his homework, to complete its meaning. Right. Next sentence, she is not doing well. Here the verb do does not require any object. So it is an intransitive verb. I hope you're getting the hang of it. Right here, my mother runs a shop. My mother runs what? Runs a shop. So this is a transitive verb. Then the road ran over the valley. The road ran what? We can't ask the question of what here in this sentence. So here, run, the verb run does not require any object to complete its meaning. So there again it is an intransitive verb. So basically, in summary, what are transitive and intransitive verbs? Transitive verbs are those which require an object to complete their meaning, where we can ask the question of what and it is answered in the question by the object. But the intransitive verbs are the ones where the object is not required to complete the meaning of the verb. Alright. So that's for the transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, so here we have another small category, pretty easy to understand but important to understand as well. Modal auxiliaries, which are known as modals. Now what do? These are another category of helping verbs and they do not change for different subjects. Like here when we did our other helping verbs, like those auxiliary verbs, they change as per subjects. Like when we have to be. Now to be can be said to can be called an auxiliary verb. So it changes accordingly with subject. Like with I we use am, with he we use is, like that. But here these modals, they don't change for different subjects and they are another category of helping verbs. What are their jobs and what do they help us do? What do they help us hint? Let's see that. Okay, like here we have can and could. So what are they used for? They're used for seeking certain, telling about certain ability, like I can do this, he can do that. And permission, they also use for permission, but it's not preferred in using for permission. Like when I say, can I come in? It is used in very what I can say, very backward formal cultures, but not really in the current informal and comfortable sense, because can actually refers to your ability. So when you ask someone that, you know, can I come in? It actually means that you're asking if you are able to come in. Now you have perfectly, you know, a perfectly fine working body, and you can, of course, you have the ability to come in, but when you have to ask for permission, here you use may or might, like, you know, may I come in. Alright. Then we have a possibility, can or could. You know, this could be the this could be the groundbreaking research that changes the country. So possibility. Here also expression of possibility, may and might. Okay. Okay, so we have will and would. When do we use these? When we are talking about certain willingness to do something, you know, would you like a cup of tea? When we're talking about an intention, I would never speak, you know, I would never tell a lie to you. It's my intention. Or like a prediction, you know, I think India would win the World Cup this year. So kind of a prediction we use will or would. Or maybe certain characterization. Okay. Here we have should, ought to, must. So when do we use these? Like when we have to give certain advice that you should wear the red dress, or maybe some sort of a deduction we're providing. And we have must used for a certain obligation. Remember, for obligations you always use must. For certain prohibition you use must. For certainty you use must. Okay, we will see as and when they come in the questions, and then you will be clearer about their uses. These are just broad usages of these modals. You just need to have a brief idea that what modals really are. Okay, they help out. They help the main verb, and also they do not change with the subject. Okay. Alright, so we have a few more modals, like no, there will be a few more like need not, used to, etc., which we will see in the questions as and when they come, and I will explain their meanings to you. Okay, now I cannot really possibly include all of them. Most of them you must be aware of. Most of them, this modal is one thing that you would have been using them in your regular conversations. You just won't have realized that these are modals. So once that realization comes that this is where it fits in, it comes naturally to you, and once you look at the questions, you will see that this is not a difficult topic. Understanding the modals and figuring out which one to use where comes a little bit naturally when you have a good hold over the language. All right. Alright, so for the quiz, what we will be doing is, now every question you will be given 1 minute. 1 minute means 60 seconds. Why am I giving you 1 minute? Because you see, your question paper of IEO, it has about 50 questions, and so you can imagine that you get more or less a minute to answer the questions. Now this 1 minute is the maximum that you should be taking for answering the question. Now suppose there could be two, three categories of students. First category is, suppose you answer the question within that 1 minute. So I would request you to fast forward the video and skip right to the answer. You should not be wasting your time. Alright. Now the other students who are not able to answer the question in 1 minute, what you do, you don't skip to the answer. You pause the video and you write down your answer. Alright, it is very important to answer each and every question because there is no negative marking. Here you see, for every incorrect answer, no points, because there is no negative marking in IEO, so it is important that you attempt all the questions. Now for a question of which you are not sure about the answer, now even here and even in the exam, if you are not sure about the answer and you maybe think that B option might be correct or C option might be correct, so you should in that case play your luck and play your mind and make a guess and still give an answer, because it is a win-win situation. Either you will get the marks for that question or you will get a 0, right? But if you don't attempt that question at all, then you are anyway getting a 0 in that, right? So it is good to attempt those questions, and even if you don't know all the answers, try to understand and take a guess. Okay, so this is for every correct answer 10 points. This is just for your own little game where you can try to maintain a notepad. So here you write the name of the chapter and then the question, and then if it is correct you can give yourself 10 points. If it is not correct, you mark it here. So it is important to see these questions, the ones which you mark incorrect. It is important to go back to them later and then see where you did the mistake. Alright, this is just for your reference. For every correct answer, you can give yourself 10 points. Alright, now let's start. Okay, here we have fill in the blanks with the most suitable verb or verb forms. What dash you done? What do you done? What does you done? What have you done? Or what has you done? Here the correct answer is C. What have you done? Why? Because we have the subject here, you, and this we're talking here, done is the V3 form. So with that we use have. Okay. Okay, now here, dash he know that tomorrow you will be on leave? Do he know? Does he know? Have he know? Has he know? So here, know is the simple present verb, simple present form of the verb know, the infinitive form. So with this and the subject he, we use does. So does he know that tomorrow you will be on leave? Right. Okay, here they dash not want to go for a picnic on Sunday. They do not want to go, they does not want to go, they have not want to go, or they has not want to go. Now here we have another verb, want, and this is the V1 form. Okay, so with the V1 form we are going to use an auxiliary verb, either do or does. And we have they, so with this subject they we use a do. They do not want to go for a picnic on Sunday. We are not using have or has because we are not given the V3 form. Alright, so it is pretty clear. Okay, here. My friends dash been asking for the party photographs. Now here what do you have to focus on, as in the previous questions we've been doing, you focus on the verb. Now we have used been asking. Alright. So this is what form? This is the continuous form, the perfect continuous form, and present perfect or past perfect. It is present perfect that we're talking about, and also we have or has as options. So amongst these, which one do you choose? As per friends, my friends, this subject is plural third person, so you use my friends have been asking for the party photographs. All right. Okay, next, each one of you dash to collect a few rupees. Do to collect, does to collect, have to collect, or has to collect. So here we are talking about each one of you. We are talking about one person, or we are talking about so many people at one time. Here we are talking about one person. Alright, each one of you. Each one. This one says we're talking about one person, singular. So with singular we use has. Each one of you has to collect a few rupees. Alright. Alright, now next, the earth dash around the sun. Revolve or revolves? Here the correct answer is B. The earth revolves around the sun. This is the third person we're talking in. The earth revolves around the sun. Simple present. Okay, here the children dash milk twice every day. Drink milk, drinks milk, or drinking milk. Here the correct answer is A. The children drink milk twice every day. Why drink milk twice every day? Because you see here the children, this is which subject? This is third person plural. So the children drink milk twice every day. Alright. Okay, here Rajesh dash his mother tongue very fluently. Alright, now here there must have been some error because you see sometimes this spelling of tongue is very rarely used in like the rarest of scenes, and usually it is said to be this is said to be a misspelling of tongue. So let's just take it as an error. Okay, so Rajesh dash his mother tongue very fluently. Speaks, speaking, speaks. Here the correct answer is C, speaks. This is we're talking the subject Rajesh is third person singular. So we use speaks. Speak plus S, speaks. Right, now here speak is the infinitive form. Speaking is verb plus ing. Okay, next, the dog dash very loudly. Here options are: the dog barks very loudly, bark very loudly, or C, barking very loudly. Correct answer is A, this dog barks very loudly. Again, third person, singular. So this dog barks very loudly. Right. Alright, so now we have the next category. This one says fill in the blanks with modal auxiliaries from the given choices. Okay. The question says you dash pay your taxes as a responsible citizens. Might, may, can, ought to. Here the correct answer is D, ought to. Ought to, here we're talking about a certain obligation and a duty. So we use ought to. You ought to pay your taxes as a responsible citizens. Now can used for ability, might, may used for certain possibility. Okay, next, one dash not touch a live wire. One shall not touch, one must not touch, one has not touched, or one ought not touch. The correct answer is B. One must not touch a live wire. Why we are talking about certain obligation in this sense? It is our common sense that we are talking about. One must not touch a live wire. This is what we can also say a prohibition. Okay, so for that we use must. Alright, now next, a driver dash follow the rules of the road. Can follow, need follow, dare follow, must follow. Again, we use must. A driver must follow the rules of the road. It is also a certain obligation we are talking about. So a driver must follow the rules of the road. Alright, now next, you dash not scrub the floor, the maid will do it. Could not, shall not, need not, or D, might not. Here the correct answer is C, you need not scrub the floor, the maid will do it. Need not scrub the floor, the maid will do it. We're trying to say that it is not necessary for you to scrub the floor, the maid will do it. Alright. Alright, now here, last year there dash be a restaurant here. There could be, there used to be, ought to be, or might be. Now here we use used to. Last year there used to be a restaurant. Because used to be, it is used to refer for the past. Okay. So there used to be a restaurant here. My grandfather dash not read without glasses. Cannot, need not, must not, or ought to not. So here the correct answer is A, cannot read without glasses. Probably has defects in the vision. So he needs glasses for reading. So we're talking about ability here, that he cannot really read without glasses. Okay, now next. I dash not oppose your candidate if you say so. I could not, I will not, I ought to, or I used to. Here the correct answer is B. I will not oppose your candidate if you say so. This is, we are talking about a certain possibility, okay? I will not oppose your candidate if you say so. Alright. And we are also talking about the future. So I will not oppose your candidate. Okay, here Jack and Jane dash buy things on installments. Need buy things, dare buy things, ought buy things, or would buy things. Now here the correct answer is D. This is a certain prediction that Jack and Jane would buy things on installments. It's a prediction that whosoever has said the sentence is making. Alright. Okay, now here dash you lend me your dictionary please. The options are shall you lend me your dictionary, may you lend me your dictionary, will you lend me your dictionary, or dare you lend me your dictionary. Here the correct answer is C. Will you lend me your dictionary please. This is, first of all, we're talking about the future, okay, and asking a question about the future. Also, this is a certain request that we are making. So we use will. Okay, now next, those who live in glass houses dash not throw stones at each other. Ought to not throw stones, used to not throw stones, should not throw stones, or might not throw stones at others. So here the correct answer is C, should. Should not throw stones at others. This is a proverb actually, and here we use should because we are talking about the general norm and what do we say? The general ways of behavior and the obligation. All right. Okay, here fill in the blanks with the correct phrasal verbs from the given options. Phrasal verbs were which verbs? The verbs which are made up of a verb plus any preposition. Okay, they may or may not have different meanings than the original verb. So here let's see. When I drove past the embassy, a bomb suddenly fall out, went off, moved out or put off. Here the correct answer is B. When I drove past the embassy, a bomb suddenly went off. First of all, this is the past tense. Okay, drove past. So we'll be using the past tense B. Went off, which means, it burst. Then if you see the other options, fallout. Fallout means, I had a fallout with someone or something like that, which means having an argument. Then moved out is pretty self-explanatory, leave something. Then we have put off is actually delaying something. Okay. Alright, here, how can you think of dash a car? Moving in a car, picking off a car, setting off a car, or D, getting on a car? Here the correct answer is D. How can you think of getting on a car? Now getting on is actually used like here if we're saying how can you think of getting on a car, which means how are you thinking of managing a car. Alright, then we have moving in, which actually means going into a new house. And then we have picking off. Picking off means bringing down somebody, kind of demeaning them. Alright, then we have setting off. Setting off basically means setting off to somewhere, like starting a journey. Okay. Alright, here he was under CCTV surveillance, so he was arrested as soon as he dashed off the building. Settle down off the building, got out of the building, set off of the building, or D, took up of the building. Here the correct answer is B, got out of. This is pretty self-explanatory, which means as soon as he came like out of the building and exited it, that's get out. That's got out of the building. Then we have settle down. Settle down is actually, have a pretty satisfactory, stable life. When are you settling down like that? Then we have set off again, setting off on a journey, which means starting off with something. Then we took up, taking up something actually means starting something new. Alright, next. Sandy just stood by and dashed my glass. Showed off my glass, read out my glass, gave up my glass, or filled up my glass. So here, filled up, this actually means filling the glass, pouring whatever, some beverage or something in. Alright, then we have the other phrasal verbs. Like here we have showed off. Now, this showed off is actually with a single F. Okay. Now, when we talk of show off, we talk about it with O-double-F. This show off, this one means, exaggerating something or displaying something very proudly, right? Then we have read out, reading something loudly. Gave up means, letting something go. Okay. Alright, so here we have Robert was dash his button when it came off. Hanging up his button, doing up his button, making up his button, or D, looking up his button. So here the correct answer is B. Robert was doing up his button when it came off. So here doing up we can say like cleaning or like repairing some sort of a thing. Okay, then we have hanging up. Now hang up actually means when we usually use it for phone calls, like he hung up on me, which means he cut the phone. Then we have making up. Making up actually means kind of a reconciliation. Okay, and then looking up to someone or something. Looking at someone as a guide, as an ideal. Okay, as an encouragement. Alright, now next, they have dashed the electricity connection because the Mehras had not paid the bills. They fall out the electricity connection, turned off the electricity connection, cut off the electricity connection, or sorted out the electricity connection. It's pretty easy. The answer is cut off. Cut off means like removing the connection, okay? All others are also pretty self-explanatory. Like here, fallout actually means, having an argument. Turn off means switching something off. Then sorted out, which means kind of problem solving in terms of an argument. Alright, now next, I dash Nadeem when he was checking out from the hotel. Fell down Nadeem, looked up Nadeem, hung up Nadeem, or came across Nadeem. So here the correct answer is D, came across Nadeem. What do we mean by coming across someone? It means that you suddenly found someone or you see someone who might be your friend or relative or anyone. Okay, so the others you see here like fell down. Falling down actually means failing, being unsuccessful in something. Looked up means searching a book or say the internet. Hung up, as I told you, when you hang up on someone, it means you like cut their phone. Alright, now here we have I am drenched and I have asked for something to dash. You are giving me an umbrella. Something to pick up, something to put on, something to give up, or something to save up. So here the correct answer is I have asked for something to put on. Put on actually means wear. Okay, I have asked for something to put on and you're giving me an umbrella. Alright, now the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. Okay, here give up actually means saying that you cannot really do it anymore. Alright, now next we have the frightened cat dashed from the huge dog. Go against, go up, backed away, backed at. Now here the correct answer is C, backed away from the huge dog. Usually back away from an argument or a competition, which means you are like, what do we say? You are withdrawing your participation. Okay. Then others are, I think, pretty self-explanatory. Go against, go up, or backed at. Okay, now next, Shravan dashes father a lot, takes after, breaks off, takes up, or they ran away. Now here the correct answer is A. Shravan takes after his father a lot. This can be used when we are trying to say that Shravan has qualities or resemblance that are similar to his father. So that's why we are trying to say that Shravan takes after his father a lot. Then the other phrasal verbs we have breaks off. Breaks off actually means, when someone becomes really severe and or maybe like stops talking. Okay. Then we have take up something. Take up something means starting something, and run away. Run away is pretty self-explanatory. Alright, now we have the last 5 hot questions. Here you see, choose the correct option to fill in the blanks. Our grandmother dash advised me and my sister when we were children. Used to, can, will, may. We are talking about the past here. Okay, something that happened in the past. So my grandmother used to advise me and my sister. Okay. None of you dash the truth. Known the truth, knows the truth, know the truth, or knowing the truth. So here we're talking about a singular person or a plural. We're talking about a singular person, that not even one person from you, like none of you knows the truth. Okay. Others you see, known is the V3 form, know is the infinitive form, knowing is the verb plus ing form. Alright, next, you dash to buy bread, we already have enough. You ought to buy bread, should to buy bread, may to buy bread, or need not to buy bread. We already have enough. So here you see, we are saying, this person is saying, we already have enough, which means they have enough bread. So here what they're trying to say is that this person does not have to buy bread. So which one? D, need not buy bread, which means it is not a necessity to buy bread right now. Why? Because we already have enough. Okay. Okay, now this one says, the notice at the park says, dash the grass. keep at the grass, keep off the grass, keep on the grass, or keep away the grass. This is pretty easy. This means keep off the grass, which means stay away from the grass, don't step on it. All right. Okay, now next, the new actor was dashed by the director. Cast down, cast at, cast on, or cast up. So here the answer is A, cast down. Cast down actually means discouraging someone and taking away their hope. So this new actor's hope was taken away by the director. All right. And we have others like cast at and cast on. Here cast up. Now cast up actually means like measuring something, or we can say reproaching someone, while others cast at and cast on are not really the phrasal verbs that I am aware of. So I am not really sure if they are actual phrasal verbs and if they're used in the regular conversations. Okay, so with this we finish off with our questions on verbs. We have done our regular good old verbs, the auxiliary verbs, the modal auxiliary verbs, as well as the transitive and intransitive verbs. I hope you have understood what they mean and how to solve these questions using all the concepts that we have done. All right. All right. So
that's all for our class on verbs and phrasal verbs. I hope you have understood you've gotten the basic idea. Make sure you revise these concepts, and if there is any doubt, make sure you go back and watch that again so as to clarify it. If there were any mistakes you made, make sure you rectify them. All right, I will see you the next time. Thank you for watching.